And now we're here with Ariana. You are a Flint resident, and your kids were affected by this water. People might remember a couple years ago, a young boy was on the cover of Time magazine with rashes all over his body, and that was your son, Sincere. Was I mean, look it up. It was really, really powerful, that image. So we'll talk about your son. But I wanted to connect with you because not only are you guys still in this crisis, but you're also kind of finding things that seem a little suspicious now, too,
For sure.
years later. So first I wanted to address, I've been telling my audience for a while that the thing that bothers me the most, not just what the residents are going through, is that the majority of residents don't even know what we're finding because the media won't report it, and you were one of them.
Yep.
I was just telling you for the first time because you didn't know the details of what we just reported, that the governor's top officials, their phones were erased, no messages on them, the governor wouldn't hand over documents. And as I was telling you, you were getting more and more upset. So just so the audience knows, what's your reaction to that?
It's kind of disheartening me to see that our local media won't cover things like a cover up. It's sad. I mean, why would you want to continue to allow people like us to continue to suffer and not know what's actually going on? We went through that for 18 months not knowing what was in the water. But to not know now that, the governor actually did try to cover this up, it makes me really angry and frustrated that they would do this.
Yeah. And also, it's kind of like, whether it's Flint residents or anywhere, like, how can you demand accountability if you don't even know what happened?
Exactly. I can't. I mean, only thing I can do is rant and rave and hope that I know, but to actually have some facts and not know them, to not be able to hold these people accountable for what they did, that's wrong.
At first, I just thought these people were lazy, but now I'm wondering, are they deliberately trying to keep residents here in the dark?
Oh, of course. I believe that, from the beginning of the water crisis and with a lot of the protests that we done and with a lot of the people who have been speaking out, a lot of the activists, our main outsource has been people outside of the Flint area. Our media team has been responsive to what they want to be responsive to, but for the real facts and for the real, they're not trying to hear us. We have to go to Detroit. We have to go to those type of places, internet resources, places like that instead of our hometown people, because they're looking at it like, it's not news to them, which is news. People need to know what's going on. We should know that, Governor Snyder and that all these people who were just in court is lying to us. They're lying about everything that happened. They're lying about what was done and who was communicating. It's just a mess.
And I want to also bring up, because another thing that really bothers me, the national media has just been basically just like regurgitating whatever the state tells them. So we found a few years ago that Snyder's officials were cheating on the water testing. They were manipulating the data by running people's water right before taking tests. But still, despite that, Erin Brockovich was like, the testing should be thrown out. It should all be redone. Despite that, the media keeps saying, oh, no, the water levels are back to normal, very low lead levels. It's fine, which then gets in other people's heads around the country. Mm-hmm. Oh, no, the water's fine. Well, I don't know. I speak to residents all the time, and I just saw with my own eyes the other day, residents are still getting rashes, not like scars from 6 years ago, like active. You mentioned your son. Like, can you tell people, is the water fine here?
No, the water will never be fine here in Flint. I don't care how many lead lines they replace. I don't care how much media they tell us. Our water will never be safe. A lot of these homeowners still haven't owned up to them being homeowners and replaced stuff like your water fixtures and your hot water tank and your pipes and stuff that was in the house. A lot of us have been living in our homes since 2014 when the water crisis happened. So how could our water be safe if the only thing you fix it is the lead line at the city side? They're not fixing anything. The homeowners aren't fixing anything. That's why we so scared to use the water. That's why we continue to use filters and bottled water. That's why these lines are still wrapped around the churches, because people scared. We don't want to die from drinking the water. We also tired of being lied to. This stuff is ridiculous that we still even talking about a water crisis 8 years later. For people to still be trying to be held accountable for something that happened almost 8 years ago. Like, this is ridiculous.
And you said your son, who was on the cover of Time, he recently developed rashes.
Yeah, and I believe it's coming from the fixtures inside of our house. I believe that this water is still poisonous to these kids who got fragile skin, kids who have asthma. My daughter has asthma, and I'm very leery with her taking showers and baths because I don't want her to be exposed to a potential virus that could take her. I don't want my kids to be exposed to anything, just like I don't want nobody else's children. They need to do what's right for Flint.
And I also think you were mentioning the pipes inside the home. They've only touched the pipes from the curb to the home, but also the main pipes, which are underneath the street, they're breaking all over the city. They're bursting all over the city. And activists were fighting in the early days of this crisis to get those replaced too, because it's kind of stupid and naive to think, oh, did the toxic water just skip over the main pipes? The main pipes, some of them are wood. Some of them are wooden pipes. Some of them are cast iron. So they were corroded, which is also leaching, whether it be lead or other heavy metals into the water. But somehow this narrative that, no, if we just change one out of the 3 pipes, it's safe.
No, that's a part of the cover-up. Let's just put a Band-Aid on this problem and put it in the minds of the people of the city of Flint that we're fixing the problem, because the problem is the lead service lines. The problem is everything. Everything is the problem. It's not just the lead service line. So why keep trying to put that in our brain so that we believe that, and people steady keep drinking the water or steady keep thinking that what y'all saying is true? It's not.
And we were talking about residents don't even know about the story we just broke. I think a lot of residents aren't even aware that they're switching the water again.
No.
They're currently about to switch the water again. They say temporarily because they have to fix some broken valves on the Detroit water pipeline. Flint gets their water now from Detroit. But I don't know. Number one, after a city was traumatized, shouldn't you consult the residents on that before you do it?
Definitely. I can't even fathom the fact that you just spoke that and said that was a possibility, that they would be possibly thinking about doing something like switching the water again. Like, why would you? And then why not bring it to our attention? I mean, why not make that where, like y'all do when y'all say water lines is bursting? Why not let us know that, okay, y'all, this is a possibility? Why not give us the option? There's a lot of people here who pay their taxes and don't have a say-so on what's actually happening in this city.
And high water bills.
High water bills ain't the word. We don't even consume half the water. So a lot of people not understanding how we got a high water bill when we barely using the water for anything other than a shower, a bath, and maybe cleaning your house up. People not consuming and drinking the water. We barely want our kids to play outside in the water.
We broke this major story just 2 weeks ago. It's like fresh. Congress reacted to it. The Congressional Oversight Committee, they said they're going to investigate it. I can't get Congressman Dan Kildee to say a word. I can't get Senator Debbie Stabenow to say a word. The mayor has not said anything. It's kind of like if Flint's politicians are not going to speak out about the Republican governor, not a Democrat, the Republican governor, covering up the water crisis and stopping you guys from even knowing at the time that the water is toxic. All he had to do was say, we fucked up, stop drinking the water. It might have saved lives if he did it soon enough. Do you think your politicians are doing enough?
No, I think with a story like this breaking, and I got this story sent to me from a friend in Florida who don't even live here. So for them to be like, yo, what's going on in Flint? What is y'all people doing in there in Flint? And for me to be like, I don't know. I haven't heard anything. I don't know. I don't know why, my congressman and my mayor and these people aren't speaking up on the behalf of this article and the proof that has been released. This ain't just y'all making up something saying, hey, this is what possibly had. This is actual proof. And for them not to speak out on it and to not say something lets me know that they wanted this to go away. Y'all don't want to talk about it because y'all know that this really happened. Y'all know, just like Karen Weaver know, when you were in office, a lot of this was already going on. You know what I'm saying? I understand that you coming out and you supporting what you guys, but at the end of the day, a lot of y'all was in office when this cover-up started. A lot of y'all was in office when y'all could have said something. Congressman Kildee, why you not speaking out? Debbie Stabenow, y'all want our vote, but y'all won't speak on behalf of what's going on. Nobody don't want to address the real facts of this cover-up, this potential cover-up, because you know why? Because it's going to loop them in here. It's going to loop those very people who are not speaking out into this very cover-up, this mess.